Where do we begin?
Hi, friends! Welcome to the Infertility Club. Today, I'm super excited for two very special guests, Tara and Austin Lassley. Thank you guys so much for being here.
We're so excited to be here and share our journey with you all.
Sure.
Oh, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
It's really fun how we met, actually. I was working and my husband and kids were outside playing over at the RV park, and they came inside and were like, "Mom, we met the coolest family ever." And they were so excited telling me all about it. And then I was like, "Oh my gosh, I've got to meet these people." And so I was so glad because Tara and Austin were outside the next day, and this was in Waco. We had fun connecting, and I also found out they also did IVF, which bonded us really quickly too. That was really fun to find out. But you guys have been traveling for, is it 3 years now, full time?
Yes, we hit our 3-year mark in September.
Where are you guys at right now?
We are currently in Blanchard, Oklahoma.
Yeah, our home base.
Our home base. We're from Oklahoma, Mustang, Oklahoma. So all of our family's here. So we try to come home for the holidays just about every year.
Yep.
So we're here for the next week and a half, and then we head to Florida.
That's awesome. That's so fun.
We're excited for sunny weather and warmer weather.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you so much for being willing to do this. So let's go ahead and dive right in. So tell us a little bit about your journey to becoming parents, and what did that look like for you?
Where do we begin? So Austin and I met. We really were best friends for a while in the beginning, but that led to dating, that led to marriage. We had always talked about kids. We both wanted kids. We felt very strongly about that, about being parents. But we also decided that we wanted to wait a little while and just it be him and I in a relationship and get to, experience each other before adding kids to the mix. So we didn't necessarily get started right away.
Yeah, I mean, we've been married, 10 years?
It'll be 11 years in April.
Yeah, together almost 14. And, we had bought our first house and we kind of did our party days, I guess you would say, and
a lot of football parties,
and
a lot of hanging out.
So the kid thing probably didn't come up until, I don't know, halfway through.
I would say we started trying or talking about trying about 5 years into our relationship, not necessarily into marriage, but about 5 years into relationship.
And it was trying, right? It was.
Yeah.
If it happens, it happens.
Mhm.
If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Yeah.
We'll make it happen eventually.
Yeah.
Just as the time went, it started getting to a point where it was like, hey, what's going on here?
Yeah.
We're not really having any luck. We're not. Now we're actually at the point where we're pushing 30 at that point, right?
Yeah.
And we were just kind of like, okay, we've had our fun. We're good to go. And that's kind of what led us down this path.
Which I think is crazy because I feel like back in the day, it was, there was a stigma around like you kind of need to start your family before 30. Now it's more common, I feel like, for people to wait until their mid 30s, latter 30s, things like that to start a family. But
for sure,
I guess back then it was more like, the pressure of, oh my gosh, I'm about to turn 30 and, like,
yeah.
At 35 now they call it like a geriatric pregnancy. And I'm like, 35? Anyways, we felt like, why is this not happening for us? So we started to ask the questions, is there something wrong?
Well, that, and then, so once it started wasn't happening, we were going down the adoption side.
Nice.
We started down that path first. Hey, what's this look like? And we actually started that process.
Oh, wow.
And that's whenever we decided, hey,
not the process of actually adopting,
you're right.
But the process of learning about it, doing the paperwork to see if you're even a candidate and, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
We started with that first. And then, because I think the idea of IVF for me, I am I'm religious. And so I was like, is IVF like, I don't know if anyone else asks themselves this question, but like, am I playing God at this point? Is this really just, maybe this wasn't God's plan for us, to have our own children. We can still be parents, but maybe just not our own, DNA. So I was just felt like, am I making the wrong choice by going through with something, scientifically, I guess, as opposed to just having the faith and waiting and believing. So I struggled with that for a little bit, which is why I think we were looking into the adoption side first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But then I don't really know what clicked or what really
I think it
happened.
was just, talking to people and, hey, if I were to go get checked as the man, it's a lot cheaper. It's a little quicker. If there is something wrong with me, then we know that can be fixed relatively easy compared to something that maybe is going on with her. So we actually went and got me tested, and I was the issue.
So I'll never forget this. He actually had just left for a work. He had to go away for a few days on business. And for whatever reason, I guess we had my number down and they called me to tell me his results. And I was by myself in a drive-through getting some food. I pulled over and, was talking to the nurse and she was like, this isn't over for you guys, but we just want to let you know that we did test Austin and you basically only have a 3% chance of getting
Yeah,
pregnant
they
on your
called him.
own.
What was it? I don't know.
They
Abnormal sperm, I think, is
abnormal
what they called
sperm.
it.
So his count was fine.
Yeah,
But it was the way that they were
it was
shaped.
basically they were dumb and they didn't know.
No, it was the shape of them had
That's what happened.
it made it harder for them to penetrate the egg.
Yeah.
They gave us a 3% chance on our own.
Wow.
I remember thinking, oh my God, he's away at work. Do I call him with this information or do I wait till he gets back? I don't want to ruin his work trip. But at the same time, he's my person and he's the only other person that is going through this with me.
Yeah.
Not nobody, even as close as I may be with my family, no one understands what you're going through when you're going through something like this unless they've gone through it themselves. So
and we had never had in either one of our families no IVF babies or
no
anything like that.
Mm-mm.
So we're the first ones to kind of pioneer
Yeah.
that, and
Yeah. So this is all new.
no, and to be fair, nobody knew what was going on exactly and how it works, and the fact that she's got to take a bazillion shots, all the time, and so I think it's they got it eventually, hopefully, but I think it's one of those things that like she said, you have to talk to each other,
Yeah.
because that's it.
So I had no choice but to call him and tell him. And it was, I think at that moment that we decided to at least just go to the class. They offered like a learning class at the fertility clinic.
Oh, nice.
You go in, you sit down in a classroom type setting and they give you a packet, you watch videos and they just go over everything from price to what your body's going to go through to everything.
Wow.
We decided, you know what? I don't know that we're going to go through with this, but let's at least just go see what the class is about. So when we went, I mean, it was immediately after that class that we said, we can do this. We're going to try. We might as well at least give it one shot.
Mm-hmm.
And then if it fails, we can maybe look at adoption.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have a class like that?
No, I wish there was, because that would have been so helpful in being able to make a decision, because I can totally relate to all those feelings that you were feeling of just being like, wait, is this the path I should go? Like, I don't want to play God, but also like we want our family. What's the best way to go about this type of thing? And so I think being able to have those kind of resources and information is amazing. So that's awesome your clinic did that. That's huge.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it helped us make our decision. We left there feeling excited about it and good about it and good about our decision. I no longer had the doubts of, playing God. I was like, no, this is just a way that, can just sometimes people just need a little bit of help. Their bodies just need a little bit of help for something like this to happen.
For sure.
So we moved on from there and started our process. Because it was Austin's sperm initially. We had to go the route of IVF ICSI, where they actually, extract my eggs, his sperm. They put it together and make the embryo and then put the embryos back in. So that whole process was just I mean, incredible, crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All the
It was,
above, but
Yeah.
yeah, but we did it together and he was, right there holding my hand throughout the whole thing. He gave me all my shots.
Oh, I love that.
Even the little the daily shots that you just take in your tummy. It's been so long now. I can't even remember what all the hormone medicine is called, but like even those, I was like, just do it. I don't want to do it. Just do it, And then the big ones that go in your rear, I'm like, he had to do those.
All those progesterone. Oh yeah, those are rough.
yeah.
Oh,
How many total shots was it for you?
I think it was like around 106
Yeah.
total shots or something like that. Gosh, if I can remember right. There was a time where we like kept everything and kept all
Yes.
Well, there's a picture out there of like it in a heart.
Yeah,
she's
there's
sitting there
a
with all the
picture
needles
with
and
all
stuff.
my
So,
needles. But then
Aw.
we live in 370 square feet, so we had to get rid of all of that stuff.
371. but
Oh,
yeah.
sorry, 370.
371. Oh my gosh. I love it. I had saved all of ours too.
Now,
have
do you
to.
still have them?
No. When we got rid of the house and did all of that, we said our goodbyes and called it.
Yes. Take a picture,
Yeah.
because you'll have forever. But yeah, no. So we don't have any. So it's hard to remember exactly how much, but I think it was around 106 shots
It was
or
a
something.
lot.
But
Yeah.
after that, we were very blessed for it to work the first
Well,
time.
you got, how many did you get?
Oh, okay. So I think we ended up with 10 eggs.
Nice.
And then when they do the ICSI part,
We had 6.
I think they monitor them over a few days to see which ones are they grade them on like an A, B, or C level. And we had 6 left over after that.
We had 6 that were good, and I think 2 were A's, a couple B's, and like 1 C.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So our doctor at the time highly recommended only putting in 1 embryo, because this is at the point where it's the embryo and you could put it inside and could still split and you could have multiples.
Mm-hmm.
So they will not put more than 2. But we were like, this is it for us, because this was like roughly $17,000. So we were like, no, we're going for 2, because if we have multiples, then we'll just deal with it. Like, we were prepared at this point. If we had 2 or 3, like, it is what it is. Like, we just wanted babies,
Yeah.
We chose to do 2. And I would say at that first, like, HCG test, I was like, oh my gosh, we're having twins, because it was really high. And even the nurse was like, hey, your numbers are pretty high.
Oh my gosh.
But only one stuck. Our little Rudy Bean,
Yeah.
she was the one that was meant to be. So she stuck and had a really great pregnancy. Everything went very smooth, good all the way through. So yeah, our story was successful, and we are
First try.
Amazing.
Super blessed that I know that this process can be really grueling, and especially if you have to do it multiple times. So to mamas and daddies out there, stay strong. Like, you got this. It will happen when it's supposed to happen.
I love that.
Was yours the first try?
Yes. Well, it's interesting hearing your guys' full story, because Austin, Jake is in the exact same boat. that was with us too.
Oh my gosh. I don't think I knew that when we talked. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, same with us. We implanted 2 embryos, and then both took, but we just, we were in the same boat where we were like, we are giving this our all. Like, we don't know if we're going to be able to do this again or afford it again. Like, we want to go for multiples and see what happens. And totally, we're like, we got to make all this count.
Absolutely. That's exactly how we felt. Like, man, if we end up with 4 out of this, it's going to be tough, but oh well.
Right. We'll figure out when we get there.
Well, Arlo, we have a son too. That is only 15 months.
Hold on, back up. So putting 2 in, we still have 4 frozen embryos.
Wow.
um, that we pay monthly to store because we thought, given our circumstances, we thought if we wanted a second, we would have to go back in and do that, the ending process again.
Yeah.
You don't have to go through all the other stuff first, but just the last few steps. And little did we know, then go ahead, babe.
Well, I think Rudy was 6 months old, and we were pregnant with Arlo, just out of nowhere.
So obviously we weren't trying to prevent because we didn't think it was possible. I mean, 3% chance,
Yeah.
So we were just like, whatever. And
there you go.
I think I had told you this. My mom was going to keep Rudy overnight for the first time. And I think it was actually 7 months.
7 months.
And we were he got me tickets to a concert, and we were just going to, really live it up and have a good night. And the night before, I just woke up in the middle of the night and something told me, before you go and have a little bit of alcohol or whatever, go to this concert and let loose, maybe take a pregnancy test. So for whatever reason, my body was telling me I wasn't sick. I wasn't feeling any certain way. Just something told me take a test.
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, it was pregnant. And I just could not even believe it. Like, what?
Were you so shocked?
Oh my God. We had a 7-month-old.
That's an understatement. Yeah.
We're just figuring out how to, really deep, dig into parenthood with a 7-month-old. And then you're telling me we're going to have another one in 9 months? Like, what?
And it turns out he is about 20 times crazier. So.
That's so great.
Yeah.
So we got our he was free, and
he's our wild child. He's the reason Austin only wants 2.
Yeah, he's the reason that those 4 embryos will probably stay there.
We're still, and I mean,
oh my gosh,
that's a whole nother topic. We just don't even know what to do with our embryos. You have some as well, don't you?
Yes, we do. Yeah, we have 5 frozen ones. So,
wow.
Yeah, it's always that kind of dilemma of like, do we want more kids? But then also like we are getting older and, figuring all that out. And then it's also like, well, what do you do with them after? Like there's so many things after to think about.
Yes, absolutely. And we had actually, I would say this time last year, in December, since we were home, I was going to back to my doctor just for my yearly checkup, and I was going to talk to him about the option where you can have your embryos put in when you're not fertile.
That's awesome.
So it's like your body naturally just disposes of them. And I had no idea, but I got there to my appointment and I was going to start talking to him about what that process would look like, what it would cost, all the things.
Yeah.
And the hospital actually took the fertility practice away.
Oh my gosh.
And so he's been doing this.
He was one of the first ones, I think.
He's one of the first ones in Oklahoma. Him and another doctor are the top doctors in Oklahoma for fertility. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's been doing it for longer than I've been alive.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And has given families these miracles, over and over for years and years and years. And he's reaching retirement age. So instead of moving somewhere to basically start over, he's just going to finish out and probably retire soon.
Oh my goodness.
But so I know it was just heartbreaking. We all cried. He cried, I cried, nurses cried while they were telling me the story, and it's just really heartbreaking.
Well, it was a part of us, right? I mean, that's where it started. His name was Dr. Kallenberger.
Dr. K, if you see this somehow, we love you.
He was awesome.
Oh.
All the nurses were just phenomenal. I mean, everybody made it just easy. It wasn't ever a big deal. It was just part of it. We're going to make this we're going to make this easy for you, and we're going to do it with you. And they did.
And I would almost say that to anyone who is going through this process, if you're with a doctor or nurses who don't make you feel that comfortable, maybe look around,
Mhm.
because there are people out there that are very supportive through this whole process. And if you're not getting that, maybe look around until you find what clicks, because they're who got us through this whole thing and made it as easy as it was for
Yeah,
us.
for sure.
And everyone should have an experience like that where it's someone to hold your hand and walk you through it all, you know?
For sure. They sound like
I would say our entire experience was pretty streamlined. I mean, we didn't have really any major hiccups, did we?
Mm-mm. No, not that I can.
Oh, well, we
I mean,
actually forgot before IVF you had a miscarriage, and
oh my goodness.
that's kind of what pushed us too.
yeah.
Oh, really?
Well, so
It was a
it's one of
ectopic.
these weird things that um it's it kind of was really weird.
Hmm.
We really aren't sure exactly what happened. And my doctor at the time, this was before I switched to Dr. Kallenberger, she couldn't even really give me any answers as to what
It
happened.
was really weird.
I had to be admitted. I was running a high fever.
Oh my goodness.
It was like I had tested positive for pregnancy 1 second, and then the next second I was bleeding, and then it was gone. But they weren't telling me, like, I didn't have to have a DNC. It was just really weird.
Yeah, it was weird.
So it's hard to even really talk about it because
Yeah.
I'm still not really sure what happened.
Yeah.
All very blurry to me, and I don't know. It was a weird
Yeah,
situation.
and I think the reason I brought that up is because I think that was a turning point for us with the IVF thing. I mean, once
Yeah.
that happened, it was kind of like, okay, now let's really get serious. We don't, because like she said, it's like they didn't know what was wrong, which was really weird. They called it an ectopic,
An ectopic pregnancy.
but they still didn't know. It's like they couldn't tell
But
us.
like I said, I didn't have to have a DNC. And I guess maybe that's why they admitted me, and I was running such a high fever as my body was naturally disposing of it.
Mhm.
But I don't know. It was just a really weird situation. I don't feel like it was ever like we ever really got like
Closure on
true
it.
answers.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's that's one thing that I guess I was just really disappointed in the doctor I had at the time.
Yeah.
She didn't have like the best bedside manners, or like empathy for things like that, and so it just wasn't a good fit. So when we found Dr. Kallenberger, it was just like, oh, like finally.
A good match.
I don't know how we found him.
I do. It was I'm a former hairstylist. Now I'm a stay-at-home mom and I homeschool the kids because we live on the road. But I was a hairstylist for 12 years, and one of my clients at the time, she's quite a bit older, not old enough to be my mom, but she's quite a bit older than me, and had told me that they had fertility issues, and Dr. Kallenberger is who she used. And she told me, he's a little older, but he's wonderful,
Hmm.
and I wouldn't have my babies without it. So you should give him a try. And it was after we went through that whole process and lost one, when I listened to her and was like, you know what, it can't hurt. I'm going to go give him a try.
Hmm.
And then from there, we just knew like this is the
Hmm.
journey that we're supposed to be on. So it worked out perfectly.
Oh. I'm so grateful for you guys. That's amazing. And I'm glad you found a really great doctor. And I think that's good advice that you had shared by shopping around and looking for a doctor that aligns with kind of what your goals are and what you're wanting, because that does make the process a million times better when you can be on the same page together.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely. It's such a private, intimate thing to go through that, it's really good to have someone that you feel comfortable with. So I think that's important.
For sure. And I'm also proud of you for opening up to your friend as well, because I think that's another great way to learn more about things. Because sometimes by sharing with friends and stuff, we're able to get resources and information that we wouldn't otherwise. So that's awesome.
Oh,
Yeah, we're very
we're
we're
open.
a very open book.
Yeah.
We
So,
don't we're very level kill. Just it is what
well,
it is. I mean,
and
this happened. So
yeah,
what? Talk about
yeah,
it a little bit, and maybe you can help somebody.
absolutely. And
So
Well, one thing I love and admire about you guys is I feel like you work together really well as a team. And do you have any tips or advice for couples going through infertility on how to bond together during this time?
I mean, from the guy's point of view, I think it's just be there.
Hmm.
You know, what she's going through is way worse than what you're doing. I promise you that. You know, giving those shots isn't as worse as getting the shots, and just go slow, and you know, just don't make it a big deal. Just make it a normal thing, and it's just part of your life at that point. Don't get overwhelmed. She needs you. She needs you to be stronger than her, and just yeah, just
I would say enjoy the process.
that too.
It's not always easy. Sometimes, ladies taking all these shots, your hormones are going to be all over the place.
Mhm.
If you can laugh, if you can laugh about maybe the crazy things that you do, or like, I don't know, you bite his head off for no given reason. If you guys can later laugh about it, you know, you're doing good. I would say just enjoy the process because, yes, it's hard. Yes, it's exhausting. You don't really know what's around the corner. It can be scary putting all these things in your body and
And you
like,
don't even know if it's going to work.
and you don't even know
So
it's going to work.
Yeah.
Paying, I know, you know, money is a big issue for a lot of couples, and putting forth that much money can be stressful on a
Mhm.
relationship. So I would just say make sure that this is really the road that you want to go down, and once you commit, just communicate with each other and have fun with it. Just enjoy the process. You're going down a path that more people than we think have to go down, but
Hmm.
there's only so many that have to do this. And so it's a special path, and just take it for what it is and try to enjoy it.
Yeah,
It,
absolutely.
I mean, it bonded us. Him giving shots to me in the butt every day. Like, I mean, it was kind of like
Well, it's
we
just
learned to
being
love it.
yeah. I mean, just be a support system. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, go to the doctor visit. Go to all of them. Do everything.
If you
You
can,
know,
yeah. If
I
your
mean,
job
yeah. If you're
allows
fortunate
it,
enough to be able to do that, you need to go to all
go
of
to
them,
as
and you
much
need
as you
to
can.
feel it as much as her, because you are invested as much, not as much because you're not doing it with your body, but you're invested in a lot of other ways. And so just be there. I mean, that's really it. I think, right?
Yeah.
Just be there.
Yeah.
So
Totally.
Yeah, I think that is spot on and awesome advice of being there for each other. I think that's huge because that is what we all want during it. It's just someone to go through it with us and be there. And so I think that's amazing.
Uh-huh.
Thank you guys. Was there any family support or friend support? So you guys talked about being open with people. Was there any family or friend support that you felt was helpful during the process?
you know, to be honest, I think that we're the type of people that are we're kind of, nothing's really a big deal. And so if we don't make it a big deal, no one else does.
Yeah.
And so I think if we're going through something, we don't really portray it as a problem, and we don't say, and we don't gripe about it, and we just leave it alone and fix it. And so I think even with the IVF thing, it was like, oh, Tara and
We're
Austin are
pretty
just doing something
positive.
else. You know, they're
Yeah.
just doing something else, doing something that they
Yeah.
want to do, and they're going to have a baby from it. You know, I don't think it was that dramatic. You know, and because I have seen, you know, I have seen some women go through this, and it is tougher than what Tara did or how she portrayed it. You know, and
Hmm.
so, but I think that being together and just being calm, one person has to always be calm.
So to answer your question, really, I don't really think that any of our friends or family, although we told them what we were going through, we didn't share it as a negative thing. We
Mhm.
were really positive about it. That I don't think that they really felt like there was anything to support other than just like, yeah, good
Yeah,
luck. I hope it works out, you know, whatever.
yeah, they were there, you know, and they would talk to
Um,
us about it and support us
but
on what we're doing. But
no one really knew exactly what it was. I don't think.
Hmm.
I don't
I
think
don't
so.
think, or I don't think they understood because no one that we knew had gone through it.
Mhm.
So yeah, they supported us and were excited and hopeful that it would work,
Yeah,
but nothing extreme because I just don't think that we make situations out to be, you know, extreme or, you know, life or death.
Yeah. Well, that's a really great quality to have, though, is to have that positive outlook on things. Because I think you're right. When we're in that mentality, other people feel that and they feel like, oh, they've got this.
yeah, yeah. You know, I think, like she said, I think it's just hard for people to understand because I wouldn't have understood it, right? I mean, if I if I would have never gone through this and somebody walked up to me and said, "Yeah, it's an IVF baby," I would have been okay, cool. I mean, I don't know exactly what that means,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's nothing against anybody. It's just what you're going through in comparison to what they've gone through or are going through.
For sure. For sure. Yeah. Are the kids doing good? They've been so great.
Yeah, they're getting screen time right now, everybody.
Yeah.
What has to happen, for a little. Oh, come here. Do you want to say hi for
You
a
want to say
second?
hi for a sec?
Oh, we'd love to see them.
Say hi.
This is
Say hi,
Arlo.
Kelsey.
Yeah, this is the non-IVF surprise.
Hi, Arlo.
Here's our little IVF
Aw. Hey, Rudy.
Little miracle.
It's so cute seeing you guys.
princess.
Okay, let me go take them back.
Okay. Good to see you. That's the goal right there. I love it.
So I think in this environment, in the small environment, we just kind of taught them that. We're always around each other.
Looking back, is there anything you two wish you would have known about the process or the journey or anything like that?
That maybe we didn't have to. Well, Arlo has obviously proved that we could have done it on our own. So,
Well, if anyone could have told us how they would have been after IVF, once they popped out, that would have been helpful.
everyone's journey is different and everyone's story looks a little bit different. So, as far as advice, I've already kind of said my 2 cents.
Yeah, I mean, my advice would just be it's okay, right? And it's okay to talk to people about it and be open about it. The more shy you are and the more inside it's going to eat you up. And so it's life. This is all part of it. You're not playing God. You're just doing something that is meant to be done. And if you want it bad enough, go get it.
Oh, I love that. You two have been so full of wisdom, and I think you guys are a great testament of seeing your relationship through it. And I've loved that you guys have just been so supportive of each other and being there with each other. And I really love and admire that. And I hope for any other couples going out there that this can be an opportunity to help bond you and grow together and
Absolutely.
and working towards creating your family, because that's a really special and awesome goal to have. So thank you guys so much for sharing your journey and being vulnerable and open, and really appreciate it.
Of course.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
Like we've said a million times already, we're open books. So if anyone needs to reach out or needs a support system, or has any questions that, maybe we didn't go into depth, on today, reach out. We're here. You can ask us anything.
Oh, thank you guys so much. That is an incredible offer, because it's really nice in those times that you're not sure how it's going or you're just have questions to be able to have a resource to look to. So I really appreciate that. And I'll make sure to link you guys your YouTube and your Instagram and all of that stuff in the description below so people can find you guys and also follow along on your really fun journey, because you guys travel full time. It's awesome.
Crazy. So do you, Mama.
Yeah.
Oh my God. We like to party. I love it. So, do you guys have any projects or upcoming goals you're excited about?
Well, we're gonna start a new podcast.
Okay, so you, Kelsey Bang, inspired us. We feel like we have a lot to talk about and a lot to share.
Well, we've been on the road for a little over 3 years. I think, we have a lot of things that we'd like to, just help some people with if we can do that. We're thinking it's going to be called My Everything Podcast. And so, no topics is going to be off the table. If you want to talk about it, we can talk about it. So
a lot of it will probably be RV or adventure related, but also parenting and the struggles of that, and just and the highs and the lows and of just whatever. So
oh, that's exciting. I am so excited for that. And I will be listening and tuning in to every episode, because you two are so fun to listen to and you have a really great dynamic together. So that's going to be awesome.
Good. We'll have to have you on when we do that. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Deal. Well, I'll be there.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us here at the Infertility Club. Don't forget, you got this. For more hope, support, and positivity, watch this next video.